and welcome. I'm Ijoma Onyato tonight. Some good news as federal government reopens the Abuja International Airport after completion of the runway 2 days before the deadline. The president commends all key agencies who facilitated the delivery of the runway, also acknowledges Nigerians' patience during the time. Disappointing outing for members of the Bring Back Our Girls group who are again prevented from visiting the presidential villa. And the British Prime Minister, testing confidence in her government, calls for early elections on June the 8th.
And on business news tonight, World Economics releases latest report, predicts improvement in growth and renewed optimism for Nigeria's economy.
On sports news tonight, Argentine police launched manhunt for killers of a fan during violence at a stadium.
And from Abuja, UNDP releases Human Development Index. Nigeria remains number 152, a position she has held for 2 years.
We begin tonight with what seems to be a promise made and promise kept as the federal government today announced the reopening of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. The Minister of State for Aviation, Mr. Hadi Sidika, who was at the airport, told journalists in the nation's capital that the rehabilitation of the runway is 100% complete. An Ethiopian airline plane also landed there around 12:06 p.m., followed by the official berthing of the Airbus 350 aircraft.
Traditional water cannon treatment to celebrate the arrival of a new Airbus A350 belonging to the Ethiopian airline at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport, Abuja. The aircraft is the first to land at the airport after a 6-week closure for the rehabilitation of the airport's runway. The Minister of State for Aviation explains the reason for the reopening of the airport ahead of the earlier scheduled date of April 19, 2017.
The April 19th was the due date for us to conclude and open the airport based on our program of work. And then that is not saying that we cannot open earlier. We were able to deliver the project earlier than anticipated, and then we can open it. There is nothing wrong with opening it a day earlier. And here we are today. We set out to achieve that target. We achieved the target. We thank Allah for His benevolence, and we also are happy and thank His Excellency Mr. President for the support, the guidance, the leadership. And I also wish to thank my colleagues who did it all, and all of you, the media and the Nigerian people, for bearing with us during the time.
For some passengers aboard the flight, the reopening of the airport is a welcome relief.
Yesterday we went in to check into New Delhi airport. There was a lot of confusion. We don't know where we were going. But ultimately they confirmed us that we are going to Abuja. And it was a news for us. I have been staying in this city for last 4 years. So I was happy the airport would be open once again.
I'm super excited for everybody who gets to resume work here again and the convenience of it. So yeah, it's a great landing. We're happy to have the airport open again.
Most of the time things don't never get actually executed at the appropriate time when they said, most especially in construction issues. But it's really kudos to the Honorable Minister. He has done very well, and I'm very happy flying in here because this is my. I would have to travel down from Kaduna to here, which would have taken me another 3 or more hours.
The Customs Area Controller in charge of the Federal Capital Territory gives an overview of security measures at the airport.
On return here, we made sure that our bank, our evaluation officers, and all others are on place for us to make sure that what is due to Nigeria is collected on behalf by the Customs Service.
The federal government closed the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport on the 8th of March 2017 for a 6-week rehabilitation of the runway. With the reopening of the airport to air travelers ahead of the scheduled date, the government has indeed marched towards reduction. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has commended the reopening of the airport as scheduled.
President Buhari, in a statement signed by his special advisor on media and publicity, today lauded the efforts of the Ministries of Transport, Power Works and Housing, the security agencies, the Kaduna State Government, the contractors and others on the successful completion of work on the runway. The President also wishes such display of interagency cooperation and efficiency is sustained in the operations of the federal government. President Buhari also thanked the foreign airlines for cooperating with the Nigerian government during the period of closure, describing it as a good example of intra-African cooperation. The Kaduna State Police Command says it's deployed more security personnel to Aso community in Jama'a local government area following the attack by gunmen which claimed 12 lives. The Commissioner of Police in the state told Channels Television that calm has returned to the area as a result of the presence of security operatives.
In the midst of their grief, they know the dead must be buried. So the men get to work to prepare the site. For the other Aso community members in Jama'a local government area of Kaduna State, they can only gather in disbelief of the happenings, asking themselves what they could have done to deserve such treatment where 12 members of their clan were brutally killed by unknown gunmen, although accusing fingers are pointing to Fulani herdsmen. So, what happened?
It was on Saturday in the evening. Some killing is past 7. We started hearing some gunshots. Those gunshots come very sporadic. Everybody was confused. What is happening? Everybody just started running.
We highly suspect the Fulanis because we've been having skirmishes of they grazing into our farmlands, destroying our crops.
This bullet-riddled home is one of many that suffered from the attack. These 2 women in this picture were part of those killed, leaving behind a trail of tearful family members. The husband to one of the victims begins to tell of how his wife died.
That time when you come, one killed me and my wife. I dropped down and run away before we kill her.
But he's so overcome with pain that he breaks down.
No, they talk again.
The only hope the people have for catching the attackers lies in the Nigerian police force. So what steps are being taken to apprehend the killers?
I can assure you that we are doing everything possible to prevent future occurrence of this incident, which we believe that peace is almost returning to these communities, and for such incident to create panic and distract the peace movement we've been carrying out is not good, but we will do everything possible to stop it.
What the people here need more than assurances is action. Not just to apprehend the killers, but to find a solution to a problem that has repeatedly plagued communities in southern Kaduna. With heavy hearts they carry on, aching for justice to come to their aid before they dish it out themselves.
Parents of some of the missing Chibok girls have been turned back by security operatives after they trekked to the security clearance gate of the presidential villa today. Security personnel told the parents who were asking to see President Muhammadu Buhari that they could not gain access due to the abrupt nature of the visit. After discussing how a later visit may be properly scheduled, the parents spoke to the media about their quest for a face-to-face meeting with the president.
It looks like the president is not serious about his Chibok girls. I could remember when the Malaysian plane got crashed, the government always communicate every time with the loved ones. But here we see in Nigeria, when this thing happens, the president don't care to say sorry for the parents, and they cannot even deceive us by telling us we are trying. Some of the parents are dying because of hypertension. Some of the parents, most of us are not in our positions. Simply, the government has rejected us. That's why we're here. We want to see the president, and the security men could not allow us to see the president. We are all here refugees. Most of us, we are struggling to earn our daily bread. Some of our children are now at home. They don't go to school. We have no means to send them to school. The way to feed ourselves even is difficult. If you can see this girl, this is the junior sister to the girl that was adopted. During the time of the rush of the Boko Haram, when they drove us out of Chibok, she got dislocation, and now presently she cannot walk straight. And we don't have any helping hand. The helping hand that I'm talking, let the president tell us the whereabouts of our daughters.
Nigeria's air power will soon receive a significant boost with the delivery of 2 attack helicopters into the Nigerian Air Force inventory. A new aircraft are to improve the aerial component of the counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency operations against the Boko Haram terrorists in the northeast. The Director of Operations in the Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Adebayo Amao, disclosed this as part of the activities lined up to celebrate the Nigerian Air Force Day this year. Air Vice Marshal Amao said that more of the latest version of the helicopters are expected from Russia, as well as trained pilots to be deployed in conflict zones across the country. The senator representing Kogi West Senatorial District has raised an alarm over an assassination attempt on his life by gunmen at his residence. According to Senator Dino Melai, the assailants invaded the residence around 12 a.m. on Saturday, shooting sporadically in the building, adding that 2 of his vehicles parked within the premises were damaged, while part of the building was destroyed.
Walls, cars riddled with bullets, shattered glass, an indication that something sinister happened here. This is the residence of Senator Dino Melai, the lawmaker representing Kogi West, which was allegedly invaded by gunmen. The federal lawmaker points accusing fingers at the administrator of the local government for masterminding the attack.
My suspicion straight goes to Taufik and Kogi State government, who have time without number said I shouldn't come home and that I can't come home. But this is my fatherland. No one can take me away from my fatherland. In a swift reaction, the local government administrator denies the allegation, saying he only heard that Dino Melai came into Ayetoro with policemen shooting sporadically.
I'm the chief security officer of this local government. The most paramount thing to me is how to defend the integrity, the security of my people, and the welfare of my people is what is so paramount to me. Why should I on earth go and send somebody down to him? Somebody I knew has buried himself politically everywhere.
The police commissioner Wilson Enalegu says an on-the-spot assessment has been done and investigation is still going on.
I want to correct an impression that we have made 7 arrests. Indeed, an individual has been arrested in connection with the investigation. And when you have an incident of this nature, you're going to extend invitation and you interview a lot of persons. That does not amount to arrest. But in relation to this case, we have one suspect in custody who is helping, and other persons that were alleged to have been part of the attack are also being interrogated.
Only the report by the police will perhaps straighten the facts on the exact mission of the gunmen who allegedly stormed the house of Dino Melai. But this can only obtain when police have ended their investigation. Everyone, including the victim, has no choice but to wait this final report by the police.
In part 2, after the break, Nigeria's Human Development Index remains static in 2 years as UNDP encourages Nigeria to embark on wealth redistribution. That's in a moment. Just stay with us.